Hello, everyone, and welcome to Exoconscious Humans YouTube. We are in a wonderful progression here with Kevin and his channeling. We have gathered in Florida at Gary Borse's house, and Kevin came down from his home to gather there with Aurora and Linda, and myself and Yvonne came to Nick's house in Scottsdale, and Heather is with us in Kauai, Hawaii. Aloha. And we say aloha to Kevin and the Council of Eight. Kevin's going to be bringing us messages today. And then after the messages from the Council of Eight, then perhaps we could also be able to share some messages that Karin, who's also in Florida with everyone, that Karin then will share the messages, the questions that we ask as a group to advance our exoconsciousness through you and the Council of Eight, to talk about the reveal, to talk about what our future holds, where we're looking into the future as beings upon the earth, as cosmic presences, as exoconscious humans. And we're going to begin with Nick offering our meditation.
I am Ort. It's a pleasure for me to be here today to speak with our Exoconscious community. Thank you for inviting me. It is an honor for me to do this, to speak with you. Let me explain what is happening here for those that do not understand. I am a guide and a teacher. I have been guiding Kevin since his childhood, along with others. Part of my teachings with Kevin was to teach him about consciousness and how it can be used for communication, for travel, for healing, for education, for creation and co-creation. So we have covered many topics with many experiences for him to allow us to get to this position now where we can communicate directly with you through Kevin. This is a huge achievement, not only for Kevin, but for our galactic extraterrestrial communities, communicating at our level of consciousness with Kevin, through Kevin. I know Kevin is still here. If I explain what is actually happening, Kevin's consciousness has left his physical body, and he allows me, my consciousness, to enter his physical and use his physical to communicate with you, as I am doing now. Kevin is fine. He is sat next to me or stood next to me. He is here. He's not always aware of what's going on or what's been said. He does not always remember. But again, it's a great pleasure to be here to speak with you. We call this form of communication dual conscious physical communication, using consciousness itself as the conduit for the communication. The dual part is Kevin's consciousness moving to one side, my consciousness entering Kevin's body and using his physical to make contact with you. But the importance of this is the fact that we are communicating with you as a Council of Eight, and Kevin is our spokesman, as there are other spokesmen here who can communicate with us as well. So now Ra has spoken with me, he's spoken with Kevin. He is one of the Council of Eight. He's the leader of the Council of Eight, and he wishes to speak with the Exoconscious community. After Ra has spoken, I will come back, and I understand that you have some questions for me. I will answer those questions for you. So Ra will now speak to you. I am Ra. I am Anunnaki. I am a ninth dimensional being. I am a member of the Council of Eight. I speak today with you through Kevin. Kevin is an extension of my consciousness. We have shared consciousness together. And I speak through Kevin to speak to the Exoconscious community to help facilitate the reveal. I would first like to thank the Earthly Council of Four, Kathleen Marden, Denise Stoner, Dr. Melanie Barton, for starting this communication several years ago now. And it is their work that has allowed us to reach this level of consciousness and understanding where I, Ra, Anunnaki, can speak direct to you through Kevin. This is a huge achievement for us to have this direct contact. So I thank the Earthly Council of Four for that communication. I understand that Ort has already expressed the information in relation to the gratitude for the Council of Eight to bring us to this level of communication, where we are now moving forward with the Exoconscious community and continuing that work towards the reveal itself. I recognize here souls, old souls that I have worked with in the past, from my ancient times when I was in Egypt. I recognize your souls. I see them. I recognize them. I'm happy to be here with you again. And I have a message for Yvonne from her sisters in the Pleiades system. They are very grateful for the work that you are doing and send their greetings to you. So hi, Yvonne, from your sisters. There are some other sisters here as well, but they are always not aware of who they are. They will after this conversation that we are having, shall we say a conversation, because we'll be having some questions later on and we will have those conversations. But yes, remember your history, remember your souls, remember the seven sisters, remember your ancient Egyptian teachings, how you were the creators of that time, the co-creators of that time. And the Exoconscious community now will be the creators again with the same souls. We will co-create together again as a team. That is what we are doing. We have already created a new timeline. Your indigenous people, the Hopi, had a timeline, and their timeline split into two. And one split went down the extinction of humanity, and the other timeline went on to the golden years for humanity. We have now merged the two timelines, where we will move forward towards the golden years for humanity, where we co-create with our galactic families and your earthly families. We will co-create. We are already doing that. We have created that timeline. We have created that timeline because you have an understanding of the void of consciousness, which has been shared with you, and where the creation comes from. So you are repeating your work here again. Those of you from the angelic realm, those of you from the seven sisters, those of you who are got their own connections to their own galactic families. You are all here. There are many working towards this. This is a huge step for mankind, a huge step for humanity. So I think I will leave you now. This is just an introduction to me, Ra Anunnaki, and I will meet with you again in a future channel through Kevin. Ort is going to come back now, and he will connect with you and answer some of your questions. So again, I thank you for allowing me to speak with you. It is an honor, a great honor for me to do that. So thank you. Goodbye. I am Ort. I am back now. I feel the energy of Ra. His energy is tremendous. Now then, I understand that you have some questions for me. I'm looking forward, and hopefully I can answer your questions. So I think Karin is going to ask the questions, and hopefully I can answer them for you.
Hello, Ort.
Hi, Karin. How are you?
I'm very well. We have some questions, and what I'd like to do is say the name of the person the question is coming from. And you might be surprised to hear the first question is from Kevin. Kevin's question is, why was Karin, myself, and Kevin given the same scientific downloads of information?
Because Kevin needed some support. He's been working on his own for quite a number of years. He's been working with the Earthly Council of Four for several years now and has moved forward. But he needs further support now, and sharing a scientific download of the quantum unified field theory, which you knew nothing about. And when that was given, the same information was given to Kevin, he knew nothing about it. So it's a way of communicating with you to open you up to the communication with the council event, and then communicating with Kevin. So it was support for Kevin and to help you wake up to the work that you are involved in now with the Exoconscious community. And it leaves you with no doubt, because the information is not normally available to people about the quantum unified field theory unless you are a scientist. So that was the reason for the information as a download for you.
Thank you. Kevin has one more question. Why was Kevin given the equation and explanation of the void of consciousness as a download?
That was because one of your scientists asked Kevin. He asked if Kevin could ask Orton D what he knew about the void. Kevin had no knowledge of the void, and the information I gave him was about the void of consciousness and how all creation is created, all timelines are created, all past, present, and future timelines are created from the void of consciousness itself. So to understand that is to help with the creation side, the co-creation of timelines. So you were given that information as the Exoconscious community through Kevin, because you now understand the creation of timelines and how they are done. It was also important that your scientist understood that as well. So I gave an explanation with an equation for calculating the void of consciousness itself. And the void is not void, as the name suggests. It is full of possibilities, full of intentions. So there's plenty that can be created from the void of consciousness itself. Now you are aware of that. You have the intentions, you have the possibilities, you have the potential to create the timeline. And you have already heard Ra speak about the new timeline. We are now on a new timeline. We have gone down the line of the Hopi prophecy, the one where the humanity goes towards the golden years for humanity. So you have already achieved much in a short period of time. And that is the reason you were given the information to understand the void of consciousness itself.
Thank you. This information, the next question is from me. So this is Karin. What information can you give us as individuals that gives us direction and clarity as to the role we might each have in the reveal?
I think you already understand that yourselves. You, as part of the Exoconscious community, are the next step in the reveal, in sharing your knowledge and information about the Council of Eight and how we communicate with you, how we share information with you, how we share the scientific information with you. And we are prepared to share our technologies with you when we have open contact. So you will continue to evolve as individuals within the Exoconscious community towards the reveal by sharing the knowledge that you have, by sharing the experiences of listening to myself, listening to Ra. So yes, you will find your own path, and you will find that we will give you information to help you on that path and continue that path.
This is a question from Nick. Who on the council will participate in the co-creation of the beacon with us?
Yes, I have already spoken to Anna and Orla. They are very interested in working with Nick and working with the beacon. I know that Nick has been reached out to by Edgar, and Edgar is also interested as well in working on the beacon. So we have three now. We have Edgar, Orla, and Anna. And I suggest that you reach out in meditation and connect with them.
This is a question from Rebecca. What innovations and inventions would you like to co-create with our community? How and why?
Yes, we would like you to help create zero-point energy generators. You already have entrepreneurs that have designed these machines, but they are suppressed. The technology is suppressed. So you, as the Exoconscious community can support these people, support the patterns. This will help not only yourselves, but your planet Earth. We are very concerned about the pollution in your planet, very concerned about your radioactive pollution at the moment in Fukushima. We have already assisted somewhat in reducing that pollution, but we have more technologies that we can use and share with you once we have open contact. So, yes, but the zero-point energy generators are so important. People have been trained to bring them to your communities, to your humanity for a number of years now. So they need support. These people need support as we support them, but it has to come from your own groups, your own groups within your communities.
This is a question from Heather. What are the most important actions we should take now for safe and full disclosure in our world?
Well, I think we are already moving along that timeline by communicating with the Council of Eight. There are other councils as well that are reaching out to other people, to other groups. So really just continuing the work you are doing. Protect yourself, ask for protection from the Council of Eight, from your own guides, and just generally move forward towards the reveal and speak with one another, share the knowledge that you have. That is important, that is the key.
Thank you. I'm going to ask a few questions, a couple questions from people who are present, and I would like them to either verify or jump in if it's not what they'd like to ask. Aurora, who's sitting next to me, had a question. She was invited to go onto a YouTube channel on March 2nd with Dr. Gale. And she wants to ask the council if they have a specific message they would like her to communicate on their behalf.
Yes, you can do. You can share the message that we are here. We are amongst you. We would like you to share your channeled portraits, your artwork. We are very pleased with them. I particularly like mine. I know Zach likes his. He has a sense of humor, and you have picked up on that. So if you share your artwork with Dr. Gale, talk about the Council of Eight and the other councils that are here and how we are reaching out to you through others, through other groups, as well as the Exoconscious community. So I would suggest just doing that.
Thank you. This is a message from Gary. Question. What can we do as individuals to verify the information that we receive from other sources, yourselves included, in order that others can help to understand the reality with this realm of consciousness and communication with other beings from other systems and dimensions?
Your information is already being verified by your C5 groups. You meet regularly. And we come and we show ourselves. We have physical interaction with you. We have touched you. You have seen our orbs. We show you our craft as verification that you are communicating with us. We are the Council of Eight. We are showing you our craft. There are other beings that have craft here too. They are showing you their craft. You are now communicating with your radios. More verification. I think that was started by a friend of yours, Jimmy Blanchett, and he was the first to use the radios. But now there are many groups using the radios. This is verification of direct communication with the Council of Eight, with other councils that are here, other extraterrestrials that are here. So continue on that path with that communication, and we will continue to give you the verification that you request. Kevin speaking here today is also verification of the information that you have been given. So from the council's point of view, you are all where you need to be at this moment in time.
There are other questions. I did one from each person so they could be represented, but I'd like to check on Kevin. How is he doing?
Yes, I'm fine. Well, Kevin is fine. We are both fine. Kevin is very hot at the moment. I can feel the heat from his body, but he's fine. I can accept some more questions. If Kevin does become uncomfortable, he will ask to come back, but he's fine at the moment, yes.
Very good. What is the current timeline for the reveal, and where do you perceive that you can safely reveal yourselves physically? Where do you think that will be?
We now have permission from the indigenous ancestors to land our craft on their sacred land. We are here at the moment on sacred land of our indigenous people. We are not saying we are going to land on the indigenous people's sacred land, but we now have permission to do that should we desire to do that. All land is sacred, but we have permission from the ancestors of the indigenous people. Kevin has been given that information as well. The indigenous people from Peru have been given that information as well. So as we share that information, then that gives us opportunities to land our craft. We already have done in some areas. We have done in your Peru and communicated with your indigenous peoples there. So now we are hoping to land our craft here. We show our crafts very often now. We are around in your atmosphere. You see us. We show ourselves to you. We don't want you to fear us. We are no threat to you. We are here to help, to assist with your evolution, to help to assist with your technologies and evolve as a species to where you can take your galactic seat again from your heritage, from where you came from.
Good. This is an additional question from Nick. Who outside of the exoconscious human community would the council recommend that we invite to participate in the co-creation of the beacon? And how does the council recommend we make contact with those entities or extend an invitation?
There are different groups you can contact, such as the Rama group. I've already mentioned the indigenous people in Peru. They have a huge amount of contact with us and have had for a long period of time. So you can reach out to those. There are the Penti. They are very interested in the beacon. They have already spoken to Kevin and reached out to Kevin. So I would suggest that Nick reach out to the Penti. I will ask Kevin to reach out as well. But they are interested in the beacon. You are all beacons. You are all beacons of light. You are all light beings. When you realize this, you realize the importance of the beacon that Nick has described to you with the tendrils of light. Those tendrils of light are tendrils of love that share throughout the universe. So the beacon is so important.
Okay, this is a second question from Rebecca. How do exoconscious humans navigate and manage technology, transhumanism, space weapons, colonization, while retaining natural human consciousness, morality, and respect for cosmic beings?
You are already dealing with your own technologies. Your technologies are expanding very rapidly. You are a very adaptive species. Again, with the transhumanism, there are two timelines. We have now moved on to one timeline, which has merged with the Hopi. The second timeline now that will stay with you will be part of the transhumanism, where your technologies will expand exponentially. And there'll be those people who will choose to have the implants, to go down the cyborg route, to go down the other routes of your technology. But the problem with that is if you become dependent on the technology and lose how to recreate that technology, then you risk yourself becoming extinct again, going back to the Hopi prophecy. So there's a divide, a fork in the road of transhumanism. We, as you well understand, prefer the exoconscious community, where you can develop your psychic abilities, as Kevin has, where you can communicate with us, where you can travel as pure conscious energy orbs. But there will be the two timelines. I think they are important to your evolution, but you have to be aware of the dangers of the technologies if used inadvertently, and you become dependent upon them, as some cultures have done, and then they become extinct because they are dependent on those cultures. As for colonization, I suspect there will be a number of years before you are really able to do that. And you can address that as and when. That is not an important issue at this moment in time. And I think there was one other thing that Rebecca asked.
She wanted to know how we could retain our natural human consciousness, morality, and respect for all cosmic beings.
Right. Well, we are already doing that within the exoconscious community because we are reaching out to the extraterrestrials, higher conscious beings. We are sharing all those points there with one another. So you are already doing that as a community.
Gary would like to know if you could show yourselves to our group this evening, if possible, as we sit and welcome you to interact with us in our physical world.
Yes, we can do that, dependent on your weather. My understanding from Kevin now is that it has been raining and cloudy, but we may be able to assist and separate the cloud. We will have to wait and see for this evening. But we visit you regularly. As you know, we enter your home, you invite us in your home. We share our understanding of consciousness with you through your artwork. So we are here. You know we are here. You do not need continual reminder that we are here because you know. You can probably feel the energy that generates through Kevin. I don't know. Some people can. Some people cannot. But we are here. We are very pleased with the work that you are doing. And yes.
Aurora would like to ask the council if there is a recommendation for a future book within our group that we're possibly working on, and a theme possibly for her to do the front cover. And what is the connection we have with Peru and the Seven Sisters?
Right, well, I'll answer the first part of the question first in relation to the book. I am aware that you are collaborating on a new book with new information to be shared with others. I don't feel it's our place to give you a title. You will do that yourselves. It is your book. It is the Exoconsciousness Community's book. So you will design the cover. There are artists in your group that we are well aware of who can design a cover. So I am not going to answer that particular question in relation to the fact that you will do that yourself. And what was the second part?
Second one is, what is our connection, although you have spoken to this somewhat in your message, with Peru and the Seven Sisters?
Right, okay. I think Ra touched on that when he spoke in relation to how he is able to see your souls when he speaks to you. And he remembers working with you thousands of years ago, as some of you as the Seven Sisters, some of you in the temples of that time. But he recognizes you and you are working with him again. So as you move forward, you will awaken up to these facts and information of who you are. And I think Ra mentioned these Seven Sisters were the creators of the time. Well, now the exoconscious community are the creators of the time because they understand how it works. And they are all old souls from the ancient times. So,
Heather has a question. What is the most unusual non-human life form that you have contacted?
that's a very interesting question. That's a very interesting question. I can answer that from a personal point of view. There are many species on your planet that have been seeded here. One species in particular I am fascinated with would be your octopus. It's an amazing species. It is able to transform itself, to morph into other shapes. It is able to change its color, to change its light frequencies within its cells. It has 9 brains and 3 hearts. It is very intelligent. It is a fascinating species. I have not met any other species with so many brains and so many hearts that can morph into other shapes. It can morph into looking like a fish, looking like a snake. They are fascinating creatures, although they are relatively small. There are some larger ones at your deep depths. But yes, that was a very unusual question. But I would say your octopus.
Are there any members of the council that would like to speak to us?
No, not today. But in the future, we will have another meeting, another channel with Kevin, and some of the other members of the council will come through. I know that Edgar wants to speak, but he won't be speaking today. So I will terminate now. Kevin is still extremely hot. He's comfortable, but he's happy to come back. So I thank you for all listening. I thank you for continuing the work of the Council of Four, the Earthly Council of Four. So thank you. I really appreciate the work that you are doing, and the council appreciate it too. So Kevin will come back now. Thank you. Thank you all.
Hello. You need to go outside and cool off?
No, I'm fine. Wow.
How do you feel?
I feel okay, hot, but
Yeah.
that's usual. So yeah, I'm good. A bit thirsty. Maybe I'll get some water. So did they answer all the questions?
Wow.
I remember some of them.
Very fascinating.
Okay. Could you feel the energy of them? Or?
Yes.
Oh, okay. You, Linda? Oh, you couldn't, middle of okay. Some people can, some people can't. Could you feel them, Gary? Okay. What about you, Chris? You're a bit
Connections.
a bit okay. Yeah, some people do and some people don't. I don't know why, but I know that some people do, yeah.